Good morning. It is Saturday morning, just after 8 o'clock. Rise and shine, my friends. Good morning to you. Good morning. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, sometimes even getting you entertained. Before we dive into the weather and all the weather graphics, have to share this picture. And this is the reason I was a few seconds late to Coffee Talk, because Joel Mathis, who has been a loyal weather watcher in Central Florida, at least for 15 years, I've been lucky enough to get some of his photography. But Joel snapped this one over Lost Lake out in Claremont. Now that, my friends, is a cool shot. We do have some fog, but this is one of those shots that it gives you the idea of the way fog looks from just overhead. So I thought that was a pretty neat shot, which meant I had to get it from the phone over to the computer. So it took me a couple of seconds. So apologies for being a few seconds late, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. All right, let's take a look. Visibility's not too bad at all, as a matter of fact. Around Central Florida, you don't see anything particularly thick, right? That's because, of course, fog is kind of isolated in nature. Titusville, certainly a little bit of fog out that direction, but otherwise we're fine. And certainly cloud ceiling's not a concern whatsoever either. So that's where we're at to start. Just a little bit of patchy fog. That'll burn off. All right, through the day, though, the bigger weather story is the chill. I looked out the backyard when I was taking Stella for a potty this morning, and some of my neighbors' houses had some frost, so I could at least can confirm in my neighborhood that patchy frost is absolutely a thing. Nice chilly start. But the temperatures will start to climb. As a matter of fact, looking ahead to next week, those temperatures climb to full-on spring values, which for me is good. For you, may not be as good. All right, temperatures out the door right now. 48 in Orlando. It's 44 in Leesburg, 41 degrees in the Villages, 37 outside in Ocala, 46 in Melbourne. So it's chilly. There's a look at our tower cam network, kind of giving you an idea. None of these tower cam shots starting off with any kind of fog. Now, Titusville did have it, so I am curious. Let me go over to the tower cam network here, and let's just head over to a couple of spots along the East Coast. I'm curious to look. We'll start with Port Canaveral. No fog there. Let's head up to the Kennedy. I'm just curious. Let's head to the Kennedy Space Center, see what's doing up that direction. Yeah, no fog. So looking pretty good. And then Tavares, yeah. So spots of fog. How pretty is that, though? I mean, geez, Louise, what a beautiful morning, right? It's not just me. It's a beautiful morning. All right. High pressure is in control. That's what's keeping us looking good for this morning, at least. It will be a completely clear sky. Do look for some of these clouds to start to sneak in eventually. Not going to be an issue, though, for us this morning. First warning, live Doppler radar. Looking around, and it also is just absolutely gorgeous. So where do we go today? Let's take a look at our forecast. All right, very good. All right, so let's take a look at our forecast for today. Starting off with absolutely clear skies. It looks gorgeous through the day. 70 degrees by lunchtime, 75 our 2 p.m. temperature, 77 degrees will be our 3 p.m. temperature. So, I mean, no matter where you are, it looks like it's going to be an absolutely beautiful day. Let's make sure to make this the best of days, right? Let's make this the best of days. Love this. All right, so that's for today. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast and notice how things just continue to look gorgeous through the entire stretch, right? We've got sunshine. We've got temperatures climbing to 77 today, 82 tomorrow. As a matter of fact, spring really kicks up. Look at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, I know that many of our local counties will no longer be on spring break, but we're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. That spring break is hitting in full force, right? Even this weekend. I mean, while it's a chilly morning this morning, At least we get better by the afternoon, right? 77 degrees, our high temperature in Orlando, 76 in Ocala. Along the East Coast, 73, 74, 75. That looks pretty good to me. Taylor says if only the ocean temp would be in the 80s, that would be perfect. We're going to be there, right? If you're heading over to the beaches, this is a look at the forecast, okay? Water temperatures were in the lower 60s not long ago, mid 60s. Now it's kind of mid to upper 60s this morning. Matt, I see what you're saying. I agree. Really. Yeah. So finally, as Linda says, the warm days are coming. Here's a look at that beach forecast, right? So jackets needed this morning, but by the afternoon, you may be looking better and better and better, right? That's just that's just my take on it. But yeah, 7-day forecast showing an absolutely wonderful stretch. Chris says I'd take 300 of these days. I know. I know. I know. What are you going to do? Ocean temp. Okay, so Jonathan says if the ocean temp is below 82, I don't even bother going to the beach. That's fair. That's fair. Taylor says we're going to get there eventually, but at that point we'll be battling swamp blank. We need a happy medium. You'll get it for a week or two. It's coming, so be ready for it, right? Matt says spring break weather is lovely. Spring break traffic is Can confirm that. Yeah. Traffic has been busy. It is what it is. What are you going to do? All right. So, the kind of overall theme for us this weekend, my friends, the warming afternoons, right? Nice dry conditions continue. Of course, when we look at things like the Keach Byram Drought Index, which is just a direct look at the kind of moisture in the soil, we're not horrible, but if we don't get rain anytime in the not so distant future, we could get into an issue, right? When we look at our rainfall deficits for the year, 3, 4 inches behind is kind of where we're at. Tiffany says, just need my pool to warm up a bit. No heater. Yeah, I would agree with that. Remember, I always say my litmus test for the pool forecast is 80-degree afternoons, right? If you've watched me at least for a minute, you know that. So for today, I'm going to tell you, first off, this morning, not a pool morning. But the afternoon, we get into the upper 70s. So it's an okay day. It's a day that you could if you really wanted to. But yeah. Speaking of the pool, we had so much fun yesterday with my eldest son popping a little fever. Now, the thing about him is every time we open the pool for the year, he ends up with an ear infection. So what happened? Ear infection. And swimmer's ear in both ears. So we're now on amoxicillin, and then we got to deal with the upset tummy. So I would say on a day like today, my kids would get into the pool, but I can't. My little guy's got to keep his ears out of the pool. So not going to be a pool day for us at our house. If your pool is heated, it's an okay day. I always use 80-degree afternoons as kind of that temperature. Yeah. Matt says it can get hot after I'm done camping the first week of April. After that, I'll surrender to the summer heat. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Now, the month of April, we're almost there. We're not there yet, but we're almost there. The month of April does typically bring our first 90-degree day. We have not had that yet. The average high temperatures for the month of April start off in the lower 80s, and the average high temperatures by the end of April are in the mid 80s. Can you get earplugs? Deborah's asking. I feel like it's just that it's like the week, first 2 weeks, and then he's fine. We're already in it. So yeah, we've got the amoxicillin, we've got the eardrops because it's inner ear and middle ear. So Yeah. Here, mold to the child's ear. Look into that. I don't know. Maybe a lot of you guys are talking about the ear plugs. Interesting. I never thought to do that. DJ drops in his ears after he gets out of the pool each time, helps to dry it up after the first swim. So Tiffany, that's what we were talking about, was needing to start doing that. We haven't, but we had chatted about maybe that potential for the future. Yeah. Swimmer's ear drops work well after a dip. Hope he feels better. Thank you. Yeah. So it was a fun, mostly dry heaving, but when you've got the poor little guy and he's seemingly wanting to power vom, it's not the most fun thing in the world. Poor guy. So anyway, no pool for him the next 7 days. Poor guy. But yeah, we were talking about looking for swimmer's ear drops just for afterward. Jeannie Rowan says, had to address my laundry. There you go. There you go. They also make a wax you can use for earplugs. My son always gets the swimmer's ear in both and middle. Yeah. Earplugs can't hurt, Joe says. No, you're right. I have to check it out. So it was an eventful Friday. Pat says, my nephew has wax for earplugs. Interesting. Matt says ginger helps for the tummy. Yeah, we were definitely going to go down that route for sure. Yeah. Well, and we've also got that, Tiffany. We added that to the mix this morning. So, yeah. Get a stomach bug tip for when they can't make the toilet, like the puke bucket with the gross. Yeah, that we did that. Yeah, yeah. We did that, Taylor. Although he's getting to the age where he was pretty good. Like I heard the bleh, bleh, I like ran out the room in the middle of the night and I see him hauling to the bathroom and I'm like, you got it, buddy. Anyway, we don't need to talk about. I apologize. We went down further into the rabbit hole than I wanted to, simply because we're all waking up. We don't need to be talking about this at the breakfast table, right? We're sitting, we're relaxing, we're starting our day. My apologies. Anyway, as soon as I started making the noise effects, I'm like, no, Burris, this is not the direction you should be taking this. So anyway, Robin says, going to Lakeland for the Tigers for the Tigers game. How's the weather looking over there today? Listen, the weather today, let's just look at Futurecast. I mean, it looks fantastic. Tiffany says, we're family. It's all good. I appreciate that. And I agree, but don't want to do that. First off, look at how neat it is. When you've got high pressure literally right over top of you, you can see the outward and clockwise spin. Literally, look at how this area of high pressure is right over top of us, right? So look at how Futurecast is visualizing those winds. Outward and clockwise. That is high pressure. Jeannie Rowan says life happens. I know. I know. Bruce, nice visual there. I'm sorry. That's kind of the thought as well today, Nikki, for sure. Unsolicited medical advice Saturdays. Well, it's like yesterday when I was at the doctor, I was like, I'm not a doctor, but I have a hunch, you know. So anyway, all right, let's roll Futurecast. Asking about today's forecast for the Tigers game in Lakeland. Light variable winds, gusting to 10. Look at that. A couple of clouds rolling in this afternoon. Otherwise, it's fantastic. There's the sea breeze kicking in, which will keep the coastline cooler, right? You see that east breeze. The rest of us kind of a drainage northerly flow. And isn't it amazing too? Like Futurecast's mesoscale abilities, seeing that flow down the Kissimmee River Basin, that's just amazing to me. So anyway, looking great. Absolutely looking great for today. Few clouds rolling in overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, we'll have some clouds to deal with. Light variable breeze kind of going more of an easterly direction, uniformed tomorrow. Southeast through lunchtime. Of course, with the southeast wind, we know those temperatures should start to climb, which makes sense. That's kind of what we've been discussing. The good news is our weekend forecast showing both Saturday and Sunday is having the green check mark. So you got to love that. Absolutely have to love that. Matt says pinwheel of wind right over us. How cool. Yeah, you don't see that very often, right? When the area of high pressure is literally right over top of you. It also shows that the model does a really good job of picking it up. Allison, good morning to you. Marie, good morning. Good morning. Tiffany says, I've got azaleas to plant today. Now that sounds pretty good. Sad, funny, but I don't even react to your description. Now when I hear the actual sounds different. Well, that's Debbie. That's where I was like, Burris, why don't we not? Why don't we not? Amy says, I so want to light my fire pit, but afraid. Why are you afraid? I wouldn't be afraid. Hold on. Let's do this. I'll make a forecast for you. I'm going to do this. Hold on. All right, fire pit forecast. Ready? Check this out. I'm going to take my normal evening planner, but I'm going to change the background. I'm going to change the background just for Amy so that Amy's not afraid. Now, if you're afraid of the fire, that's a different story. All right. I made this background for another station. There you go. There's your fire pit forecast. You like that? You like that? Clear night tonight, 60s, lower 60s. It's going to be nice and cool again. Not as cold, but that's a nice fire pit forecast. Huh? Very nice. Very nice. Tim says, whoops, I'm late. Eating breakfast before my perfect day at Coco K. Oh, Tim, I'm so jealous. I want to know, Tim, what the air temperature is and what the water temperature is over there. Perfect day at Coco K. Are you over? Are you in the Windjammer right now, Tim? Are you sitting in the Windjammer right now? Tim? I love Coco K. Oh, Tim, you're killing me. Send me a picture, Tim, of what it looks like there. Send me a couple Coco K pictures from today, please. I'm jealous. In a good way, not in a bad way. In a good jealous. Brent says, I'm just sad this will be our last cold day of the season. Next is 95 degrees with 98% humidity. I mean, there's no absolute promise that this is the last cold day, but here, let's look at actually, I mean, I'm looking at the let's do this. Hold on. I'll show you what I was just looking at. Okay. So, this is the American GFS model. I always say ignore that last day, April 7th, because it's just so far out. So you can definitely see there's a couple little fronts. Like there's a front there, March 27th, high drops a little bit. Then it gets warmer again. Then like there's another front there, like April 2nd, 3rd. And then April 7th, it'll initialize. But I think the bottom line is that if you're looking for a mega front, does not look like you're going to get mega front. So yeah, don't go all in on that. I wouldn't say it's guaranteed to be our last cool day, but it's also probably one of the last. Yeah. Pretty dry for fire pits in my area. If you've got the kind like I had the propane one where it was up, you're fine. I mean, if it's one that could get out of control, that's a different story. But yeah, that's it. Perfect for wings over Flagler today. What is wings? Wings over Flagler. I've never heard of wings over Flagler. Warbirds over Flagler. I'm just looking at this. Saturday, March 22nd. Y'all know about this? Free event, $5 per vehicle. Drone show add-on starting at 20 bucks. What do you got? What's happening? I had no idea. Y'all? Warbirds over Flagler. Did not know that was a thing. Okay. Well, that sounds kind of super cool. Okay. Warbirds only. So there's a one-night drone show tonight, but both events. Okay. Okay, well, there's that. Did not know that was a thing. Yeah, looks really nice. Winds are light and variable. We'll end up with an easterly breeze eventually, but all in does not look bad. Huh. Karen, you got the Borat reference. Very nice. Blue Goose says maybe get a fire pit next year. Full speed ahead for summertime now. Yeah, I need to do some pressure washing on my pavers, etc., etc. Yeah. Matt, me too. I was slow to figure that one out as well, but I think as long as it's one of those things where it's, like I had a propane fire pit a while ago, but as long as it's something, and as long as you know yourself best. You know yourself best. Barb says it's an annual event. I didn't know. Allison says it's right in your wheelhouse. I know. I didn't know. I don't know what we're doing today. I know we've got okay, post a link for you. All right, here's the link for it. It's wing. It says Warbirds over Flagler. Here, I'll post the link. All right, link posted. Link posted. Who knew? Y'all need to tell me these things. No, it's not your responsibility, but I need to. Anyway, yeah, the weather looks great for that. Not too much wind, not too much heat, right? Wendy says currently freezing in Epcot. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful day, though, if you're heading to the attractions. I don't know what we're doing. I think we're going to do something in the tourist district today. I don't know. I got to figure that out. Um, I mean, Magic Kingdom's open until 10. Looks great. Scott says Chamber of Commerce weather. So, Scott, admittedly, I never say that on purpose, at least, because that's one of those like crutchy phrases that I don't know why. It's like for some people saying the word moist bothers them. For me, Chamber of Commerce weather bothers me. I don't even know why. Bruce says solo stove fire pits are amazing. After a few minutes, no smoke. Interesting. That's why I like the propane deal because it didn't do smoke either. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you are concerned about it getting out of control, you know that like my propane one that I had until it fell apart. My propane one is not going to hurt anything. It's not going to bother anybody. So to that point, are these the Titusville Warbirds based at the old Tico Airport? I have no idea. I have no idea. Matt says I've lived here 20 years and never knew Warbirds over Flagler was a thing. Me either. Right? Tim says fly over to Coco Cay with the family. We can There's no runway on there, Tim, but I would also add airplane's not done until push that back again. It was supposed to be 2 weeks ago, and then it was supposed to be Monday, and it was supposed to be yesterday, and then it was supposed to be supposedly this Monday now. Okay, another day. Oh well. All right. So that's kind of where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns. Now that I'm done yentering, questions, comments, concerns. I would add, I wanted to piggyback on everything. Everything is a runway if you're brave enough. That's true. Not with a Mooney. Not with that low profile Mooney. Um, I wanted to add, I found right after Coffee Talk yesterday, I found a new way to stream the graphics. And bring Jeremy and Coffee Talk drive through folks in. And I think it's perfect. So I think we're going to be good. This is not using Teams. This is not using Skype. And the quality is better than it's ever been. So, yeah, the future. I like it. Chris, what? Your bird isn't ready. Yeah, don't. Sensitive subject. Victoria says this week looks great. It looks great, doesn't it? Mm. Warm temperatures. What can you say? What can you say? Cool, but a nice week overall. I mean, we're starting cool, but it's not going to be a blasting heat. It's mid 80s. Mid 80s, right? We can handle that. We can handle the mid 80s. Tanya says, "Love those temperatures." How am I doing this? It's a website. It's all web based. It's a web site, VDO.ninja. It's free, and the stuff that it does are wild. Will you be able to do the show from the Mooney with the new tools? If the thing's ever airworthy again. Yeah. Yes, I did a test running it from Wesh, sending my video to Wesh and then streaming it out. And it worked out nice. So yeah, it seems like everything is good. Matt says the fact that it's free is nuts. I know. And I mean, that seems like the highest, I could be wrong. It seems full 1920 by 1080, which is what I put in. And it seems like that I have full manual control over bit rates. And yeah, so it looks fantastic. Looks absolutely beautiful. So I think that it'll be great. Chris says, beautiful, video.ninja. Yeah, like literally the website is video.ninja. But nothing in life is free. That's your wisdom. Well, you're right. I don't know how it's free, but that's the computer. That's the computer. And I mean, the quality's gorgeous. Like, look outside. How cool is that? I mean, that tower, it's just the angle of that tower cam. It's not that the video quality is crummy, right? Like, I could put on, let's go to the beach. Let's go to New Smyrna Beach, for example. I mean, that's gorgeous, right? Daytona Beach. Matt says you are casting to my 4K TV and it looks glorious. Right? Like, how crazy? How crazy? Tim's asking. It's video. The Victor Delta Oscar dot ninja. November India November Juliet Alpha. Video. However, the best things in life are free. Jeannie Rowan. There you go. There you go. So anyway, if anybody else is doing a coffee talk and you need to move video files and have interview things, this seemingly is pretty cool. Seemingly. I tried to water my grass yesterday, but this old lady couldn't get the hose off the sprayer to hook it. Sprinkler. No longer have a system in my yard. When those things start to corrode, yeah, it's a mess. Tim, like video. Yeah, video, but shorthand. Exactly. Amy's asking, do you know any good beaches in Melbourne that allow dogs? We have to open that. So Amy Peterson on YouTube is asking about that. Do you know any good beaches in the Melbourne area that allow dogs? Hive Mind, any beaches in the Melbourne area that allow dogs? As long as you know it's chilly, as long as you know that beach forecast does include a bit of a chill. Speaking of interviews, Coffee Talk drive-through. Maybe I can grab Sheldon. Should I text Sheldon? Let me text him. Sheldon. Okay, I'm texting because I'm mad at you. You left me. All joking aside, love ya, buddy. Curious if you would be up to doing coffee talk with me on Friday. Chat about your career transition, etc. Or just pop over to say hi. All right. I have texted Sheldon. There you go. Wow, we got some NATO phonetic alphabet. That's more rare than Campeche. Isn't it the ICAO alphabet? Or are they the same one? So Chris Daughtry. All right, so this is going back to Amy Peterson. Chris Daughtry. Isn't that a musician's name? Anyway, says Canova Beach is dog friendly. Stephanie says Canova Beach at the end of O'Galley. All right, there you go. I want to start a travel talk with Tim show. There you go. Well, Tim, this is the way. Video.ninja is the way to move video around. Bruce says, so I can delete Skype off my laptop now. I wanted to be ready for my next interview. Well, now you don't even need it. It's all web-based, which is super cool. All right, everybody's saying Canova Beach. Yes, text Sheldon. So needy. You left me. Hey, I am a needy. This is me. This is me. Tanya says you behave. Listen. Listen. Sheldon is. I love that guy. What can I say? I love him. He's such a genuine, smart. Every time I spoke to him, I just felt like I walked away a better person, a smarter person. And you know what? I'm the kind of person that doesn't ever want to be the smartest guy in the room. So to me, that's kind of what I like, right? I love it. Just don't let the dogs drink ocean. Well, there's that. Yeah. Lori Wilson Park at Cocoa Beach is also dog friendly. Amy says, thank you. Yes, he's the lead singer of, you guessed it, Daughtry. Okay, as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, do we have a celebrity in our midst? Chris Daughtry, are you a celebrity in the mix? Amy Peterson says, I will check it out. See, this is why we have such a great hive mind. We ask, and everybody will let us know. Tell him he will need to make an appearance on Coffee Talk. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes Needy is lovable. Sometimes Needy is annoying too. We'll see how that goes. He hasn't responded. If I know Sheldon, he's probably out running 1,000 miles or something. So there you go. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. That's a musician's name. Yeah. All right. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I'm just loving. I was curious how this video feed was going to last for a half an hour, so it's looking good. I haven't brought in any video at the same time to do graphics and an interview, so we'll have to see how that works. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll show you. This was my test yesterday. Downloads. Where is it? This was my test yesterday. Trying to do it. This is from Wesh using this so backward. Instead of bringing graphics to me, I brought me to Wesh. All right, this is going to be an audio check, just seeing if this thing works correctly or not. Hopefully it does. I think it should, at least. This is checking on the graphic to see how it works on that. That didn't work. I had to fix it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And then do that, put you at the very bottom. Okay, now that's working. All right, so I think we've got the. Yeah. So anyway, that got it working. Got it working. There you go. So that was broadcasting from Wesh, my face to Wesh, and using Wesh as a control room. So I think we're like super hip now. I think we're super hip. Ricardo's asking, any plans for Sun and Fun? At the moment, I'm thinking Sunday. At the moment, I've got to look at my work schedule, but I'm thinking Sunday. Yeah, I'm thinking Sunday. Unless I can get work to send me, I would love to do that. This is way too much Eric Burst for one Saturday morning before. Yeah, drink that coffee, Kelly. And I was going to text you back, Kelly. I don't know if you were watching at the beginning of Coffee Talk. We had a pediatrician double ear deal vomiting event yesterday, so that's why I wasn't able to text you yesterday. Anyway, when is Sun and Fun? Debbie's asking. First week in April. Now you don't even need to go to work. Just drop a green screen at home and broadcast from home. Don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas. All right, listen, it's 8:36. Enough. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Does that sound good? Coffee Talk in high definition. Yeah. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Take care, y'all. Bye.